One of the main juggernauts in Dutch football, Ajax Amsterdam. They're known for their famous youth academy, their brilliant scouting network, and also the silverware they've won over the years. Former European champions, current Eredivisie champions. Things are only going up for Ajax right now. And as you can tell, Ajax are probably one of Europe's favorite underdogs to get behind. They're just a very likable and lovable club. They've had famous players grow and develop over the years. So in today's video, we're going to be finding out how Ajax deal with the pressure, deal with being in the release clause only challenge. If you're looking to keep up to date with all the latest scores, news, transfers, and everything the footballing world has to offer, make sure to check out OneFootball. It's available on both iOS and Android. It allows you to follow your favorite teams, your favorite players, and so much more. The download link is in the description, so make sure to give it a go. It's completely free. It is a must-have app for every football fanatic. It's a brand new world, it's a brand new environment they're going to be experiencing, so before we get into the video, here are all the rules and objectives. Right, so the basics of the release clause only challenge. Number 1, plain and simple, we can only buy players on the transfer market that have release clauses in their contract. Number 2, every single current player at the club must have a release clause instated within their contracts from the get-go. Number 3, once a release clause is activated for one of our players, that's bye-bye, we have to let them go. In terms of silverware, it is our priority to win the Eredivisie, the Dutch Cup, and of course, the Champions League, all in the space of a strict 2-season time limit. It's going to be tough, but I am ready to take on the challenge. Let's get straight into it. So guys, before we get into the video, make sure to smack the like button down below. If you're going to enjoy, and you're enjoying all the FIFA 20 career mode content, make sure to smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let me know down in the comments below who should be the next club to face the release clause only challenge. It's going to be a fascinating experience. Yes, I know Hakim Ziyech is just chilling there in the background, but this is the current state of the club. Rule number 1, every single player must have a release clause, and we've only gone and done it. There we go. Our highest rated player, Hakim Ziyech, with that £46 million, and pretty much after that, there's no one with a higher release clause. We've aimed them pretty realistically to their valuation, and I think a lot of clubs are going to be tempted to activate these. We could be in a lot of trouble in this challenge. Let's see how we react in the transfer market. Let's see what players are available. And unfortunately for CM De Jong and Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, we're unable to give them release clauses because they're retiring at the end of the season and we can't give them a new contract. It's one of the most dangerous but rewarding scenarios we could currently be in right now. At any time, at any given opportunity, any club throughout the world could snatch up one of our players, catch us off guard, and like I said, we could be in a very dangerous situation. We've compiled our release clause shortlist together. We've got the players that we're aiming for, and we've been gifted with £75 million to spend this transfer window. We've got a lot of work to do. We're probably going to play it by ear and see how the transfer market reacts to all these release clauses being on the market. So let's get straight into the transfer business. I'm actually quite nervous going into this one. Now, here we go. It's been a slow burner so far in terms of the transfer window and all the release clauses. However, Manchester United, the Glazers, have come in for Mr. Donnie Van De Beek, £36 million. That is a key influential figure in our side, going a Dutch talent, and we're definitely going to miss him. Let's see if that one goes through, but Van De Beek might be off to Old Trafford. Well then, there we go. Here is the confirmation. Mr. Donnie Van De Beek, the Champions League hero for Ajax. He's switching allegiances and he's becoming a Red Devil there. He is going to be a main star for them. The new number 7 as well. That was a player that I didn't want to let go because I know he can grow and develop throughout this season and the next. It's a tough player to say goodbye to, but that is the name of the game. Donnie Van De Beek snapped up, and you just know Mr. Release Clause had to respond in the best way possible. Like I said, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar is retiring at the end of this season, and this is a striker. He is a hitman that has burst onto the scene this year, and I really think he could do some damage for us in the Eredivisie. It is PSV's Donnie Malen. So we are weakening fellow Dutch rivals, and we're also bringing in an amazing wonder kid. The first time I've signed him this season, and thankfully he had a £20 million release clause, an exciting prospect, and is definitely going to bag us endless goals this season. So welcome to the Ajax release clause challenge, Donnie Malen. And here he comes, our Donnie Van De Beek replacement. We've invested in a bit of South American flavor, a bit of Brazilian spice to add to the squad, and for £30 million we activate the release clause of the one, the only Lucas Paquetá. The exciting prospect is a cam. He's going to slot straight into that position. He's going to be our main playmaker this season. We've had to play our cards right, and we had to jump at the opportunity. So welcome on board, Lucas Paquetá. Welcome to Amsterdam. And right here for 28.3 million, Inigo Martinez, the Spanish centre-back, arrives as we've activated his release clause. He is coming over from La Liga. Let's go, champ. We've basically purchased a player in each and every department, in the defense, in the midfield, and in the attack. Let's see what happens, but Inigo Martinez is a much-needed centre-back reinforcement. Well then, it's the email that we never wanted to see, but inevitably, we always knew it was going to happen. Hakim Ziyech's £46 million release clause has been activated by PSG. Probably the smartest team in Europe right here. They've poached our best player on a cheap release clause, and the Moroccan will be moving to PSG. Let's see if that one goes through. And here we have it. The Moroccan has finally made a move away to a top European club, and it is PSG who took advantage of that release clause, to be honest, and it's plastered all over the French newspapers. It is the headline story of this transfer market, and that is the main question. Can we live without Ziyech? We're going to have to replace him. We're left with a lot to play in the transfer budget, so let's see what we can pull off. For now, farewell, Hakim Ziyech. And the first piece of action that we've taken after the Hakim Ziyech sale, we've brought in a central defensive midfielder. It's not a like-for-like replacement. We've already got some attacking midfielders in the squad, and that's called upon Danilo Pereira to join us to reinforce that defensive midfield, to provide a bit of cover for the centre-backs, and that is exactly what the Portuguese man is going to do. He arrives from Porto, and we activated his £43 million release clause. We had to make the sacrifice, and I think the gamble will pay off in the end. He's going to slot straight into that starting 11. So welcome to the club, Danilo Pereira. So instead of going all out in the transfer market and picking up a major marquee player after that Ziyech departure, we've gone ahead and spread our investments here. We've used pretty much all of the transfer budget right here, and we've activated the Spanish right back Odriozola's release clause from Real Madrid, $32.9 million for the 23-year-old. It is a stunning upgrade to that right back position. Another player who can just slot into that starting 11 straight away. No questions asked. Another Spaniard comes and joins us here at Ajax. Here we go. It's the Premier League that has come calling again for Daley Blind, the ex-Manchester United boy. It is Chelsea coming after his £26 million release clause. Yet again, another major player for us. A jewel in this Ajax crown, a starting centre-back. And just like that, Chelsea have snapped him up. There is the confirmation. The Blues' new number 6, Frank Lampard, picks up the Dutchman. And that is another major loss for us. We're taking L after L. We've got a few replacements lined up. We're going to see what we can pull off after this Daley Blind sale. It might be a blessing in disguise. However, farewell, Mr. Daley Blind. You've been a loyal servant here at Ajax. Well then, farewell, Daley Blind. Hello there, Theo Hernandez, the Frenchman, the World Cup winner, joins us here for £57.8 million. The release clause was activated, and the 23-year-old will be a direct replacement for the Dutchman, and at 23, 84 overall, he can develop into a real leader and centre-back here at Ajax, and we've pretty much drained the whole transfer budget. So welcome over to the Netherlands, Lucas Hernandez. Now, this is the nerve-wracking part. Deadline day, there could be any types of release clauses activated, which could just shift our whole entire transfer window and turn it on its head. Thankfully, no last-minute release clauses activated, but this is how the squad is looking after that release clause-only transfer window. Marlon leads the line for us. Paqueta and Pereira, the two central midfield partners. We also have Hernandez, Martinez, and Odriozola, the three new defenders in the back line. And another part of the challenge, simulating to January, is always a nervy time. Teams can activate release clauses behind our backs without us knowing, so we'll give you an update once we hit the halfway stage. January has arrived, and I was pretty happy considering no clubs activated any release clauses throughout the simulation. So I thought, a few days into the simulation, Juventus have come calling, and they've knocking on the door for Nicolas Tagliafico, the Argentinian left back, for £35 million. And hey, it looks like we're in the market for a brand new left back. And just like that, the January transfer window has kicked off with a bang here. Release clauses activated left, right, and centre, and the Argentine left back is off to Italy. The Bianconeri capture one of our best defenders as soon as we thought our defense was set for the season. No, Tagliafico, he's had other ideas, and there we go, $35 million back in the transfer budget. We're gonna have to replace him. And the player arrival we all knew was coming. It is Nico Schultz, the German, coming over from the Bundesliga. Another Bundesliga arrival. It is from Borussia Dortmund for £35.4 million. That is right, release clause activated for the 26-year-old. He can provide us with a great deal going forward. He can also defend pretty well, so we brought him in, and he's a brand new recruit here at Ajax. We've actually achieved a major feat right there. We have trained the transfer budget literally zilch, zero. Nothing's there. Zero in the transfer budget, zero in the wage budget. Nothing's left in our pockets after that January reinforcement. Well then, this one's caught me by surprise. It's a deadline day departure. The French outfit, Olympique Lyon, have activated another Moroccan's release clause. It seems like the Moroccans are headed off to France. Alongside Hakim Ziyech, it is Mazraoui, a former starting right back before Odriozola came into the picture. He's headed off for £21.6 million. After Mazraoui's departure, didn't really decide to invest any more money into release clauses this season. I've got faith in the squad and there's no more investments. It just shows coming in. Tagliafico and Mazraoui departing the club. Let's get into the second half of season 1. This is how our starting 11 is looking here. Smiley faces all around. The morale is high. The spirits are high here at Ajax. Let's see if the good morale translates into good form and the form translates into results this season. We'll catch you at the end of season 1. Well, there we have it. It is another masterstroke of genius by Mr. Release Clause. Not only have Ajax gone undefeated, they've won 34 out of 34 games. They are 100% perfect in the Eredivisie, 102 points. PSV were our closest contenders. 7 goals scored against us all season. We have created a super team over here in the Netherlands. The Eredivisie wasn't ready after we lost a few of our major players like Ziyech off to PSG. We've still managed to move on and life's been pretty decent without them. Now let's check our progress over in the Dutch Cup and in the key NVB Becker. The domestic double has been achieved with a 3-0 victory over PSV. What a way to cap off season 1 with both Dutch trophies acquired against the bitter rivals PSV. Alright then, this one will be a critical one. Our domestic success was absolutely brilliant, but in the Champions League, it was an El Clasico Barcelona take out Real Madrid. We finished in 3rd. Okay, it was a different story over in Europe. We dominated domestically, but continentally, we could improve for season 2, and we need to. We moved over to the Europa League, so let's see how far we went in that tournament. In the round of 32, we got faced up against Sporting. We won 5-1, and then we lost to Wolfsburg on away goals, 2-2. So we're getting eliminated in the round of 16 of the Europa League. So here they are, our main performers, the Invincibles over here at Ajax, and it's Dusan Tadic, the Serbian, killing the game over here in the Netherlands. And at Ajax, he's bagged 40 goals and 19 assists, double figures in both goals and assists. Over here with Quincy Promes, a signing which Ajax made in real life, 32 goals and 15 assists, and that is one of Mr. Release Clause's boys, Lucas Paquetá, the Brazilian, with his first season over here in the Eredivisie, 16 goals and 8 assists for him. Daniel Malin, he can probably improve a bit more in season 2, but 13 goals and 4 assists isn't too bad in his first stint here at Ajax. David Neres, another Brazilian, 5 goals and 7 assists for him. Danilo Pereira from centre defensive midfield, 4 goals and 3 assists. Alessandro Martinez, the centre back / CDM, 3 goals as we'll scroll down. Huntelaar in his last season with 2 goals. Lucas Hernandez with 2 goals. Our main centre back this season, Nico Schultz, coming in halfway throughout season 1, 1 goal and 3 assists. Inigo Martinez with 1 goal as we'll scroll down, and then we'll have a look at Onana, 32 clean sheets. You love to see it from the Cameroonian. Well, that'll do it for season 1 for Ajax here in the Release Clause Challenge. They've done quite well, and we'll go again in season 2. We're after that Champions League trophy now. We've gotten the domestic trophies under our belts now. Europe, watch out, Ajax are coming. Here we go then, season 2 has arrived. What we've got to work with here in the transfer window, 95.4 million pounds. It's what you love to see. It's enough for Mr. Release Clause to get his hands dirty in the transfer market. That's exactly what we're going to do. It is Champions League or bust, so we're going to go all out. So the major glaring issue in our squad going into season 2, if we want to compete in the Champions League, we're bringing in some Champions League experience here with Mats Hummels for 60.2 million pounds. We really needed an elite defender to partner with Lucas Hernandez, and we found the right man. One of the major challenges in this Release Clause fiasco is that we've got such an intricate pool of players that we can buy. They might not be realistic. These are the players which we can only acquire with Release Clauses here in FIFA 20, and we've gone and done so. So 87 rated Mats Hummels, welcome to your new starting 11 place here at Ajax. Preceding the retirement of Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, the veteran Dutch striker, we needed a new impact sub off the bench, and it's one of the most informed strikers in Europe at the moment. Erling Braut Haaland, the Norwegian, has burst onto the scene this year in real life at RB Salzburg for 18.7 million pounds. We activate his Release Clause. It's an opportunity. Yet again, I couldn't pass this one up. The Scandinavian target man arrives here at Ajax. He's our brand new number 15. welcome to the club, Erling Braut Haaland. It's taken a few weeks into Season 2, but the first release clause activation, and it is the Romanian Razvan Marin, the central midfielder. Arsenal have come calling, and Unai Emery might get his man for £18 million. There is the confirmation. Arsenal meet Ajax demands, and for £18 million, Marin is off to the Premier League, 78 overall. He's a bit of a squad rotational player, but farewell, Razvan Marin. Another one bites the dust here after one comes in. Just like a London bus, one doesn't arrive for ages, and then two, out of nowhere, come in, and here we have it. The same goes with this release clause right here. It is Inter coming in for Joel Veltman, £20 million for the Dutch defender. Inter's new defender, Joel Veltman, has now joined them, their new number 5, for £20 million, and now all of a sudden, it's looking like we need some reinforcements here. He was starting to be a great squad player for us, but now he's off to Inter Milan, and we might have to do some digging in this transfer market to basically counter the fact that we don't really have any attacking threat or talent coming off the bench to make an impact, and we lack depth in that winger position. We brought in the Kosovan winger, Milot Rashica. For £31 million, he arrives from Juventus. It was his brand new release clause after moving there from Werder Bremen, and the 24-year-old is a decent little player. I feel like he's a bit underrated from Kosovo, and yeah, I think he can make a real impact here at Ajax, definitely in Season 2. So welcome to the Eredivisie, Milot Rashica. Now, you could see this as a Marin replacement. Nevertheless, we've brought in Enis Bardi, the North Macedonian midfielder, the little playmaker, arriving from Levante in La Liga for £27.2 million. Quite a cheap little release clause. The 25-year-old, he is quality, and I think that could be a realistic signing for Ajax in real life. Another foreign talent arriving here at the club and could beef up the squad. We need that squad depth, and Enis Bardi is the man. So welcome to the Netherlands, Sir Bardi. Oh my goodness, no, I did not want this one to happen. This is some bad news arriving here. It is Onana, our Cameroonian war, and this was a massive player that I didn't want anyone poaching. However, it's SL Benfica taking advantage of his £38 million release fee. That's brought us straight back down to earth after those 2 release fee activations. But hey, that is the life of the release clause challenge. One week you can feel like you're on top of the world. The next week you can feel like you've been absolutely robbed. Farewell, Andre Onana. And the only keeper that was available on the release clause market that was Champions League and Ajax quality was the Hungarian, coming straight from RB Leipzig. It is Peter Galashay. I've got no idea how to pronounce this Hungarian name, but the 30-year-old, he's a veteran. He's 86 overall, and for £49.7 million, we've drained the transfer budget yet again, and we've brought in the Onana replacement. Let's hope that he can keep some clean sheets this season and can guide us to a deep Champions League run. And as we near the close of the second summer transfer window here, we've got a few minor release fee activations here, some departures. It is Ryan Gravenberch, the young Dutch midfielder. He's off to Empoli over in Italy for £4 million on the dot pretty much. And then Edson Alvarez, the Mexican CDM, is joining West Ham for £19.2 million. And just to conclude summer transfer deadline day, the third and final release fee activation, it's coming from Watford for Labiard, the central attacking midfielder, is off to the Premier League for £14.7 million. Like I said again, bulking up the transfer budget for January if need be, and it's our third player departure in a row. Here is our Champions League group for Season 2. We've got Liverpool in there. However, Lokomotiv Moscow and Young Boys should be easy competition. So I'm predicting we should be able to get out of Group B there quite easily. That is how Mr. Release Clause has set up his squad for Season 2. If we avoid injuries, if we avoid suspensions and all that, we've got the depth and quality now. So I think our money is on a deep Champions League run here. We can be the underdog and surprise the world. However, I'll see you in January at the halfway stage. It's been quite the quiet period come January. However, we've spent the remainder of our transfer budget, and why not? It was the only player we could afford basically for £33.2 million. It is Gabriel arriving from Benfica, the 27-year-old Brazilian midfielder. We might as well bring him in and get some use out of this final cash we have in the bank. Introduce some more quality and depth into the squad. So welcome over to Ajax, a January recruit, Gabriel. And would you take a look at this? It's progression, baby. Straight into the round of 16. We top Group B there with 0 losses, 16 points. And there we have Moscow and Young Boys, the Europa League fodder of the group, both with 3 points. And then we're drawn up against Olympic Lyon in the round of 16. And here we have it then, the final season of the challenge. In Season 2, we can't go back to back and have 100% winning records in Eredivisie. We still get 100 points. We're still invincible, but that one draw Come on, lads. We should be doing better. No, I'm joking. I don't even know how this has happened. There is no competition in the Eredivisie whatsoever. 2 Eredivisie titles in a row, and we are Dutch Cup champions. The KNVB Becker, we win 2-1 against PSV. So it's a Dutch domestic double 2 years in a row. Get in there, baby. In the Champions League, we progressed through to the quarterfinals after beating Lyon 2-1 on aggregate. We then moved to Tottenham and then defeated them 2-0 on aggregate onto the semi-finals. And it was a 3-2 victory over Manchester City. Pep Guardiola, the bold fraud, has been knocked out of the Champions League again. And we've somehow scraped our way to a Champions League final up against Barcelona of all teams. What an event. Spectacular scenes of glorious emotions here as the underdogs have made it all the way to the final, and it's going to be David versus Goliath up in here. And it's all or nothing right now. This to win the Champions League and to cap off the release clause challenge. I don't remember the last time we've actually won a release clause challenge, and this could be the day. Here with Ajax, we've gotten together a quality side, some brilliant potential in there, and the squad could keep on getting better and better. Ajax and Barcelona have shared some tremendous history over the years, but can Sir release clauses 11 cause an upset here on Champions League final night? He's had such limited time to work with the squad, and it's the North Macedonian off the bench to get the equaliser, and then we've pulled through on penalties. Who saw this one coming? I don't know what to do with myself at the moment. We've actually won against Barcelona. Griezmann ended all hope in the 100th minute, but with 5 minutes to spare, Enis Bardi off the bench, the unsung hero. And I'm counting my lucky stars at the moment that I decided to sign him, because that one has pulled off. We don't go down. We're coming clutch. And we're European champions here with Ajax. Release clause challenge. We've completed it, mate. Gorgeous scenes. You love to see it. And Theo Hernandez gets a chance to suit up and pose next to the glorious trophy wrapped in the red and white ribbons. The treble is well and truly ours, and I feel like we've deserved every single bit of success we've had this season. Let's take a look at our top performers, and yet again, it is Dusan Tadic, the 32-year-old Serbian, aging like fine wine. 45 goals and 12 assists, consistency at its finest, and he gets the top goal scorer award 2 years in a row. He is an absolute beast, entering his 30s. Nothing is going to stop this bloke. Champions League winner as well. Quincy Promes, another prominent performer here with 39 goals and 8 assists. It is Lucas Paquetá, bagging himself double figures in both goals and assists. 21 goals and 15 assists. It's Erling Braut Haaland. He was supposed to be our super sub off the bench, and he's gotten more goals than our main striker Marlon. 17 goals for the Norwegian. Enis Bardi with that all-important Champions League goal. 11 goals and 5 assists. Neres with 6 goals and 6. Marlon with only 6 goals, expected a bit more from him, and from centre-back Lucas Hernandez, bags himself 5 goals, Hummels with 3 goals and 2 assists, surprisingly. Danilo Pereira, the Portuguese workhorse in the middle with 3 goals and 3 assists. 9 assists from left-back Finico Scholes, a brilliant outstart from the German, and Alvaro Odriozola with 5 assists from right-back. Gabriel came in January, did a job, 1 goal and 3 assists for him. Rashika, you'd expect a bit more from him, but it's only 1 goal in 4 appearances from the Kosovo international. And then 27 clean sheets in 50 games for the Hungarian. He came in with the tough task of filling in the gloves of Onana in goal, and he's done oh so well there. What a side we have built here. This has probably been one of my favorite release clause challenge sides. Unfortunately, it's only a 2-season challenge, but it has been an absolute blast. So release clause couldn't have done it without his players, without his warriors on the field, and we've done a madness here again. So if you guys did go on and enjoy the challenge, make sure to slap the like button down below, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more FIFA 20 career mode content, challenges, experiments, growth tests, you name it, it is coming to the channel. Follow me on Twitter, link is in the description. Also comment down below what areas could we improve in the challenge, what aspects did you like, and what content do you want to see on the channel going forward. I have been BCHD. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you all on the very next video.